What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Yankees Avenue Show on the Yankees Avenue YouTube channel. As usual, I'm Patrick Hennessy. That's Dan Rourke. Dan, how are we doing on this terrific Tuesday morning?
Pat, it is a terrific Tuesday morning because over the weekend, dude, I was sick as a dog. I don't know what was good. Thank God, though, for this hoodie right here, the most comfortable thing of all time. Yeah, I'm not wearing a shirt under it. Relax, it's fine. This thing saved my ass, Pat. Saved my ass. No longer had the flu. Feeling good. And, I got this hoodie from somewhere pretty special. It's actually quite a big day for the Yankees Avenue Show. Why don't you let them know a little bit?
Dan, we have our first sponsor for the Yankees Avenue Show. Huge shout to Foco. That's where you got the hoodie. I have one too, bro. It's so cozy. That's where this hoodie is from.
Got a
Code
bunch
Yankees
of stuff.
Avenue at Foco. Get a whole bunch of Yankees gear. We'll show off a bunch more to you guys later on in the show after topic 2. But yeah, huge shout to Foco. They're going to be sponsoring the Yankees Avenue Show. Really looking forward to it. You know what else I'm looking forward to, Dan?
What's that?
Giancarlo Stanton's 2023 season, because I think that it's going to be insane. Coming into this season, I think that the expectation for Giancarlo is really just health, right? Because we all know what Stanton could do when he's on the field. He's the definition of production, definition of clutch. There's nobody else I would want up in a clutch moment besides Giancarlo Stanton, and I'm really looking forward to his 2023 season. Dan, tell me a little bit about what you think.
Yeah, so, it's tough because you look at the 2022 numbers and they were like pretty damn bad. Now, he still hit 32 homers, I believe, but career worst batting average of 211. OBP was below 300. All these are pretty much career worst for Giancarlo Stanton. But I want to remind the folks at home, before the injuries took their toll, remember he was an all-star, had 24 home runs, a 134 OPS plus at the all-star break. And, coincidentally, that's kind of like his fall off aligns with when the Yankees midsummer collapse happened as well. So that alone is pretty interesting. It kind of just goes along with the fact that we always say Giancarlo Stanton is crucial to the success of the Yankees. Now, with that said, I kind of know exactly what I want from Stan in 2023, and that's just, dude, replicate 2021. Obviously, easier said than done, but pretty much he had an IL stint, yet still played in 139 games. He played like 25 games in the outfield. End result, hit 273, 35 homers, and we know how clutch he was for them that year down the stretch, and just overall a very consistent force for them throughout the year. So, dude, if you can just give me that, I always will grant, and this is going forward, I grant Stan one IL stint every single year. That's fine, because in the end, going back to that 2021, he had that IL stint, and still total 139 games. So I think we can kind of, I want to say live in the middle ground, because he obviously needs to be healthy for a majority of the year, but give me 135 games of Stanton, assuming he's healthy, because it's not just about him being in the lineup, right? We need you to be legitimately healthy, because as we saw towards the tail end of last year while he was playing, he was asked because the injuries and IL risk really takes their toll on him. But 130 games of Stanton, bro, like we know the production is going to be there. So that's really what I'm going for. Yeah, the health.
Yeah, and I think that's really the main question mark, right? And I feel like that's the main question mark with a lot of guys that we've broken down their preview for this season as well. But I guess that's kind of with all that taken into account now, we kind of look at Stanton's role for 2023, right? And I think health is a key dependent on that, because let's say we're seeing Stanton with injury troubles early on in the 2023 season. There's a good chance that we don't see him in the outfield too much. However, on the flip side, like if we see a healthy Stanton come like July, August, then we might see him get plenty of reps out in the outfield. And then that changes the Yankees' entire outfield discussion. So I guess now we kind of examine, like, do we think Stan's going to be primary DH, which is probably the clear answer here, but also how much time in the outfield do you think we're going to see from Stanton this year?
I think we're looking at definitely less than 50 games. Last year he was in about 34, and he totaled, I think, 111 total games in the season. So if you were to like put that over a full year, he probably gets close to maybe that 50 mark. I think other Yankee fans like Stanton in the outfield a little bit more than I do. Now, I acknowledge it definitely makes him a better player. And ideally, yes, you get him in there maybe a quarter of the season, 25 to 30 games. That's kind of where I'm shooting, because while, yes, he hasn't gotten hurt in the outfield, there is something I think to be said, the wear and tear of just standing out there. Now, the pitch clock will definitely help with that, less time just dogging on your feet. But I do have, I think, a little more concern than other Yankee fans do about like him in the outfield. But it clearly helps him. It definitely helps. So you will see him out there. I don't think it'll be for all that much. He'll definitely be like the primary DH for sure.
Yeah, but I think I'd be happy with 50 games in the outfield, no?
Oh, if he ends up doing that, sure. I think like if that were the plan going in, might be
That's probably best case scenario.
A tad risky. Like if we end up getting to where Cool. Stanton plays 145 games and 50 of those came in the outfield. That's awesome. And we're probably going to see the best version of Stanton we've seen in a while because of that. But to set that as like the plan might be a tad bit risky because in the end, what matters is that Stan is healthy for September. So the IL rust is gone. And more importantly, obviously October. So like whatever gets you there is the ultimate end goal. 50 games might be a touch much. Touch much.
Yeah.
You like that? You ever hear
Yeah.
that? Touch much?
No, I've never heard it, but I like
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I can't complain. Over under. Dan, I love the over unders. This one, it's kind of based on health too.
Yeah.
Do we think Stan's gonna play over or under 135 and a half games this year?
I'm going to go with under, not by much, 130 games. And that's kind of me putting out what would be my goal. Give me 130 games, Stan, and that's a W. So I'll go under, not by much, though.
Uh I'll go over just for the sake of being different. Just because I think that like that's a really good line, by the way, 135 and a
Thank you.
half. Just because I mean, like I could totally see him playing like 130 or 140, and I'll be completely satisfied with both. So I think unless like you're slamming the under and being like, yo, he's only playing 100 games this year, that's the only way I won't be satisfied. But I think you could easily see Stanton play 140 games this year. I don't see it as being completely unrealistic.
Let me ask you real quick, like on my 2021 point, you get that season from Stanton, 35 homers, drove in 97 runs, 273 average. Like that's a W to you, right? You're taking that 100%.
Bro, it's also a W just for the sole fact of like you look at what 2021 Stanton did towards the end of the season, and if like because bro, one of my saddest ideas in my head is like not being able to see what 2021 Stanton could have done in the postseason that year. You know what I mean? Just because
Hey, we
like
saw it for a game, bro. He did all he could, but I know absolutely, you're right.
it's so aggravating because I really wanted to see him just tear up that postseason because he had all the momentum. Bro, he's the only reason the Yankees were even in that wild card game.
Yeah, and real quick before we get to the last over under, I want to say, while overall postseason numbers weren't great, really weren't great for anybody in 2022. Stan was still one of the Yankees' better hitters. Hit two big home runs, obviously, in game 2, which ended up losing, but the one in game 5, the opposite field 3-run blast, which basically won us that game. That was awesome.
Won the series, basically.
Or I mean, won the series, yeah, absolutely. And then ALCS, I don't know what the overall stats were. They weren't great, but yeah, if you remember that game 4, he had a couple of runs batted in. So he always is trying, man. If there's a guy that does as much as physically possible to try to get us to the next level or the next round, it's always Giancarlo Stanton. That's why I want to real quick go back to that one point about where when he fell off last year, it coincided with when us as a team fell off. That's not a coincidence, man. There's obviously other factors that go into it, but the overall, I guess, point we're both putting out here is Stanton is so huge and such a direct correlation to the Yankees' success that, yeah, he has to be healthy this year, dude. Need it.
Yeah. And just like one quick note on that game 5, ALDS home run. I was there, and it was that daytime game. It got rained out the night before. Bro, I'm thinking to myself, like, let's say that was a night game, prime time. I think that home run kind of gets lost in the sauce a little bit just because it was like a daytime. Then, like, obviously what happened in the Houston series, they had to play Houston the next day. I think that if that home run happened like at nighttime the night before, that goes down as like one of the Yankees' biggest home runs of the 2010s. I think it kind of gets forgotten about a little bit just because of the situation it was.
That's
So
why
it's
daytime games just kind of blow. Like they really do. I mean, I enjoy that. That was one of my more like enjoyable game 5s. But I think you're 100% right about that, dude. Things are always more epic at night. If that's the point you're making, I agree.
No, it is. It is always. Another over under here. 36 and a half home runs. Another really good line, Dan.
Thanks, dude. I mean, to be honest, I don't want to take too much credit because it's really just, dude, I'm going off 2021. And while this might come as a shock, I said under 139 games, I have him going over 35. What was my line? 36 home runs. I haven't been in 39. I haven't been in 39 home runs in 130 games. What I think we'll get is, that one IL stint that may last 15 to 20 games. Outside of that, though, I think we're going to – when was the last time we saw Stanton go on – it's almost like he's been so consistent when he's been healthy, like legitimately healthy, not just playing. But like 2021, there wasn't that crazy surge of home runs. It seemed like he was kind of a consistent force, and that's what we want. I think we're going to get that over 130 games with – we'll see like a 1 or 2 week run where Stanton is just annihilating balls, 10 home runs in like 8 games, that sort of vibe, which is why I think he's going to be on the verge of 40 home runs, yet in just 130 games.
Yeah, and I think I'd probably take the over. I think you said 39.
Yeah.
I think we see Stanton's first 40 home run season as a New York Yankee.
Love it.
I think that number 4 does much different things to me in my body than the number 3. I mean, bro, the difference between 39 and 40 home runs is astronomical. It's kind of like the same difference between like 49 and 50. It's just like mentally, it makes all the difference in the world. So give me at least 40 home runs for Stanton. Um, and yeah, bro, like going back to what you said about Stanton being like on those hot weeks, a hot Giancarlo Stanton is probably, if not the most, one of the most intimidating batters in all of Major League Baseball. There's no denying that.
Without question. And, you know, the Yankee lineup this year, we all know the deal. It's probably our weakest lineup since I hate even using the baby bombers anymore, but just an easy way to describe the era of this era since 2017. Potential could be there, of course, but going into the year on paper, our weakest lineup. So, I mean, I won't go into the whole thing again, but need this dude to be healthy because if not, man, I mean, Gleyber Torres
Yeah.
or Josh Donaldson is our four hitter. So, yeah. And one more thing I want to mention about Stanton on the topic of 40 home runs. Last year before the All-Star break, he hit 24 home runs in 76 games. Now, if he were on that same pace over 150 games, that would have him on pace for 47 home runs, Pat. So
It's kind of
it's
crazy.
like not any sort of stretch or wild prediction to say, dude, this guy very well could or will likely hit 40 home runs this year. And that would be sick. It's surprising he hasn't done it yet. Would you call somebody crazy if 6 years ago you were told, yo, Stanton, 5 years into being a Yankee, would not hit 40 home runs? He's been close at 38 his first year, 35 and 21, but it's
See, I
crazy.
see, I probably would have called them crazy. However, like I think I would have called them even crazier if they told me that that was the case. Yet we would still be satisfied with what we've gotten. Because I think as of right now, I'm more than satisfied with what we've gotten from Giancarlo Stanton, just because it's the sole purpose of like I don't care what you do for me in the regular season. Show up for me when it counts, right? Like when the lights are brightest, that's all I care about. And Giancarlo Stanton is the definition of that. So, bro, if he doesn't even play, if say he plays 3 games this season, but then in the postseason he shows up and he leads us to a World Series, that's all I care about. We're not even going to remember that he didn't even play this year. So I think that's the key.
I'm with you.
Yo,
Well, real quick, let me say one last thing on this. I'm with you. That's my logic really with every player. Stanton, though, I have trouble saying that because he's one of the, I don't want to say the few guys, but he's crucial to the regular season this year. Like, while I have
sure.
us being the clear front favorite over the Blue Jays, I think we're going to get a race this year. So that being the case, like, if we don't have Stanton in the regular season for the majority of the year, then are we a wild card team? I don't know. That's kind of getting ahead of ourselves, but yeah.
Yeah. But yo, speaking of Stanton's like clutchness, the love for Giancarlo Stanton, I think this is kind of an easy one. Good Yankee, bad Yankee.
Great Yankee. Love you, Giancarlo. Needs a ring. And I want to real quick look through the in his 5 years as a Yankee, the season averages, like his numbers are so good, man. I mean, the average is only at 255, but an OPS of 839 with the Yankees in 5 seasons. That's really, really solid. So production has been there. We know what clutch he's been, and we haven't talked about this yet. He's handled New York perfectly. Couldn't have done it better. So with all that, like, how could you not love this guy? Easy, great Yankee. And I think when all's said and done, if he gets a ring and continues up this like historic clutch postseason success and all that, Monument Park is almost a lock, especially when you consider the good chance he finishes his career with 500 homers. Not exactly a lock like it's always been. Definitely still could do it. But if he does that, wins a ring with the Yankees, you're looking at, I think, Monument Park and then entering Cooperstown in pinstripes if that's a possibility. So great
Bro,
Yankee.
huge possibility. Huge possibility.
Yeah.
And I agree. Great Yankee. I probably put him, he's probably like 2A, 2B with Garrett Cole in terms of like my like great Yankee list. Like obviously Judge is number one, and then Cole and Stanton are kind of tied for number two. And then I have Rizzo three. Like I think that's my easy top three. And bro, John Carlos, I think you kind of described it perfectly. If all goes well, because he has a pretty decent amount of time left on his contract, assuming that the Yankees win a ring during that time period, just everything considered, I do think he will end up in Monument Park, and I think deservingly so. And I feel like it's very rare for me to say that about a player, but I think Giancarlo Stanton is the definition of just a possibility for that. And bro, there's not a lot of Yankees on the current team I could even think that for. Judge, Cole, Stanton, just those three. And then
Yeah.
obviously like Rizzo if they win 3 titles in the next 5 years.
And also, this is probably like the least, definitely the least important part of it, but the markability to will never get old to me. Them together, Judge and Stan, still hits the same way it did on December 9th of 2017. Like they are like, you put them two on a poster advertising a game and it just looks right. Like they represent the New York Yankees and Stan's a big part of that. I won't go into the whole thing again, but he's done everything right, man. He really, really has.
Yeah. And bro, like last note on Stanton here. Speaking of doing everything right and handling the media, let's not forget going into the 2020 postseason, Stanton was like public enemy 1A, 1B among the
He
Yankees
was
fan
probably at
base.
rock bottom, honestly, in 2020. So absolutely. He
Yeah,
was
bro, and how he's just shut everybody up and kind of just like he went from like Carl Pavano-esque to now Yankee great in the matter of a couple years. So it's just I love to see that because a
Give me the
lot of
World
guys aren't able
Series
to do
ring
that.
before the Yankee great, but he's headed
He's
there.
on
He's
he's
headed
on
there.
yeah,
He's
he's on
doing his
pace to.
part. He's doing his
Yeah.
part. Yeah.
All right, Dan, moving on topic number 2 here. Joel Sherman of the New York Post reported over the weekend that the Yankees could engage with both the Dodgers and the Rockies about shedding one of their infielders, most likely IKF. But with that considered now, I mean, the possibility was also mentioned of the Yankees parting ways with maybe one, maybe two of their top prospects. Oswald Peraza could possibly be one of those guys. Maybe probably not Anthony Volpe, considering that he's like the one untouchable. But would you entertain this idea?
Yeah. So the thought process was the Yankees, if they're set on Volpe being the guy at shore, which who knows if that's the case, probably not. But let's just say they were. What do you do with Peraza in that case? My mindset the entire time has been you keep Volpe, you keep Glaber, who's a top 10 second baseman, 2 years of control. Those are your guys, at least this year and then next. Volpe, of course, long term. I'm so down to trade Peraza. So down. Now, my ideal scenario is more so, I don't think you got to do it right away. I would probably hold on until the trade deadline. But with Peraza, I think what you do is you have him headline a package for that piece that does get you at least closer to equal footing with the Astros. Now, whatever that may be, if it's Brian Reynolds, I don't know, a big piece, that's where I would go. What Sherman mentions, it is interesting because, yeah, the Dodgers have a whole lot of top prospects and they need infield help with Gavin Lux going down. The Rockies also do as well with Brendan Rodgers. But to stay on the Dodgers, you could swap prospect for prospect. It wouldn't be my A move, but I think they should consider it. I really do. I think it's interesting. It might be a little bit risky. I'm definitely down to trade Peraza. That's where I'll lay my final point at. I don't know exactly what for though.
Yes, I agree 1,000%. Just because I mean we're in that same boat as far as trading prospects go, right? It's like pick your one untouchable, and then everybody else is kind of on the market. Even
Absolutely.
Dominguez, despite his awesome spring so far, which
Definitely.
we're gonna get into later. But I'm open to trading Peraza, obviously. However, I'm not a huge fan of like the prospect for prospect swaps. Like I get it; it would make sense if you're trading for a top of the line outfield prospect, which would make a little bit more sense for the Yankees considering their infield logjam. However, at the same time, I like trading prospects for sure things. If you're trading a prospect for another prospect, it's like you're still taking a gamble regardless, right? It's kind of like when the Yankees traded Jesus Montero for Michael Pineda. Like those were two gambles for both sides, and neither one paid off. At least most of the time in trades where you're giving up prospects, there's like a clear winner and a clear loser, right? Because one team gets solidified major league talent, and then the other team gives their prospects whether or not they work out. So yeah, I mean, I'd be open to trading Peraza, but I think it would have to be for major league ready talent.
I'm with you. Yeah, I think ultimately that's definitely where I would go. I just really am curious, what are the Yankees' long-term plans? Is it entirely based off of the spring? Because the question I've always wondered is, who is your shortstop long-term? Do they know? Is it Volpe? Is it Peraza? Or
I think it has to be Volpe,
I would think so.
unless
I
they see
wonder
him
though,
as like a second base, third baseman. Then
and
it
I'm
changes
wondering, is that
everything.
only because of if they plan on keeping both? Like, is it a situation where if Peraza and Volpe, you see them both long-term, I guess it's clear Peraza's got short, then you go Volpe second, Volpe third, but you could just trade Peraza, get an additional piece, say, yeah, Brian Reynolds, just for argument's sake. You start Volpe, you keep Glaber, and all of a sudden your window of 2022, or I mean 2023, 2024 is that much increase as a possibility to, all right, you're on the same level as the Astros now, or at least close. You could beat them in a series. To me, it's a no-brainer. I'm so for trading Peraza. I'm with you on prospect for prospect is a little bit risky, although I will say I'm not totally against it. I think it's interesting.
Sure, yeah, no, I guess it depends on the situation, right? And I think it also depends on how close that talent is to the major league level. Because Peraza is major league ready right now. If you're
He's a
trading
major
for a
leaguer,
major league,
essentially.
yeah, if you're trading for a major league outfielder who just hasn't really debuted or hasn't seen substantial time at the major league level yet, then I'm there for it, 100%.
Yeah.
But yo, Dan, it's Foco time.
Foco time.
Listen, let's tell you guys a little bit about Foco because it's the first time mentioning it on the show. Foco has an abundance of Yankees products, and not only Yankee products, but they're all officially licensed MLB. They have it for every MLB team, every sport really. Baseball, basketball, football. And bro, the products are just something that I've never seen before. First of all, the bobbleheads. Bro, look at this insane Aaron Judge, 62 home run. Look at this bobblehead, bro. I've
Dude,
never seen anything like it in my life. Look at his head bobble. Like it's nobody's business. Uh,
dude. They the far and away the best bobbleheads I've personally ever seen. And I don't even know this, Pat. I'm like a huge bobblehead guy because even the ones I have at Yankee Stadium, they just seem to be like a little bit generic. These ones aren't very detailed. They actually look like the player they're supposed to be resembling, which is nice. And
bro,
you
look at
know,
his
they got
face.
they got hella dope stuff. Let me just go through it. I've mentioned this already. If you see that on my wall, Pat has one as well. It's a little like Yankee. How would you describe it? It's like a wood
It's like a
cutout thing.
wooden
It's
pallet.
easily far and away the dopest thing I've seen, like for wall art. You also got summertime is coming up. I know it's a little bit out there, but watch my Outer Banks lately. I got the Yankees board shorts. I know I'm gonna look good in those. Been working on my legs as well, so it'll look really good. And check out this hat too. I think I might work with the combo. You get a little bit of this action with the board shorts. They got so much stuff, good prices as well. And we got a discount code, I believe.
Discount code Yankees Avenue. You save 15% off your order, bro. That's a deal. The link should be in the description. If you don't feel like going to the link in the description, you can just go to Foco, browse the website, and then use code Yankees Avenue at checkout. You save 15%.
You're helping us out too by buying this stuff. So not only can you check them out, get dope Yankee apparel for the season coming up, but you help support us too at the Yanks Ave Show. So pumped to have Foco here. They're awesome. And yeah, dude, code Yankees Avenue, 15% off.
Yeah, and also, moving forward, we're gonna have giveaways, all that fun stuff
Yeah.
as far as Foco goes. So be sure to check them out. Check out all their socials, and yeah, appreciate you guys. But yeah, moving on. Topic number 3 here, Dan. This is our second season preview of the episode, and bro, this is kind of like the pitching version of Giancarlo Stanton, just in terms of health and
Yeah.
kind of just the impact to the team when they're healthy. And that's Luis Severino. I feel like Sevy's just that guy who we go into every season expecting him to be healthy and kind of being like, yo, I can't wait to see a full season of Sevy, and it never seems to happen. And now that's why this year I'm going into this year knowing that we really have like a huge impactful pitcher in Luis Severino in a contract year, but I'm still doubtful as to whether or not we're going to see that full season out of him.
Dude, me too, man. And I was thinking about it. I was like, I've been pretty optimistic about all our player profiles so far, particularly about, things that we're unsure about. In this case, health, and a lot of players' cases, health. I'm still unsure. I don't know if we're going to be able to get 30 starts at a Sevy. Now, the fact that it is his free agent year, his walk year, that helps. Like the motivation is definitely going to be there. But I always feel weird saying that, especially for a guy like Sevy, because the desire's kind of always been there, I figure. I mean, this dude wants to win. He wants to be out there every single time. We saw how pissed he was last year when the Yankees put him on the 60-day IL, which technically he didn't need, but was a smart-ass decision because he came back, in my opinion, the best version of Luis Severino, stuff-wise at least, that we've ever seen. Minimal time or sample size, 3 starts, but 169 ERA when returning in September. Looked pretty damn good in the playoffs, in my opinion. Had that start against Cleveland, the start against Houston, gave up a couple homers, but the stuff looks really good. So in terms of his performance, I think we're going to get, dude, a 1A caliber starter. That's really what he was overall last year. Had a great year, 3.18 ERA over 20 starts or 19 starts. But yeah, no, the health's concern. I can't confidently pretend like, new year, best shape of his life. We're going to get, and he has lost 15 pounds, so give him credit. It's still a question mark. Will we get a healthy Luis Severino in 2023?
Yeah. And I guess that's why we're kind of moving on to the over-unders here. Do we think we're going to see over under 149 and a half innings for Sevy? So basically, does he hit that 150 mark?
Yeah. So I'm going to go over 150.
I'm going to go over 150 just for the sole fact of it's a contract year.
Yeah.
Even if Sevy's feeling like a little soreness in his shoulder, he's going out there because, bro, the difference between the contract he'll get between making like 20 and 30 starts is astronomical. Especially because you look at a guy like Severino who hasn't pitched over 30 starts since 2018,
No.
which is 5 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
And bro, 2018 doesn't even feel like 5 years ago, but it's 5 years ago.
It's when we met, Pat.
So was it? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, no, I think that'll make all the difference in the world. And Sevy obviously knows that. His agents are telling him that. So I think Sevy understands how important it is for him to stay healthy this season. I think he will get it done. So That's going to benefit the Yankees, but it'll hurt the Yankees in contract negotiations if they do plan on re-signing him.
Yeah. Also, too, I mean, while it'd be dope if he gets there, 150 innings like still isn't even all that much. I mean, like ideally, if Sevy wants to have like a great walk season, get it to like the
That's
180
probably about like
level.
25 starts, right?
That's what I was saying. Yeah, I think like that
Yeah.
gets you 26, 27, which I consider a W as long as he's healthy for October. But like if he wants to get a bag in free agency, say he does make 30 starts and I don't know, pitches to a sub 3 ERA career year, or like replicates 27 to 2018, you're looking at a probably honestly a Carlos Rodon type bag. He'll get a
Yeah.
$100 million deal in the offseason if he is pretty much just healthy. And like you said with the Stan comparison, it's one of those things where if he's healthy, the numbers are going to be there. So it's really just that, can he stay healthy? Which I'm
Yeah.
nervous about. I am.
Yeah. Next over under here, 3.35 ERA. Over under.
Under. It was tough to come up with what this line was going to be. I'm going to go under though. Like I said,
Still
I
a
think
good line.
production's going to be there. Thank you, Pat. I appreciate it. I'm going to go under. He's good. Sevy's a
Uh
stud. Let's make no mistake.
yeah. I think I'll go under too. I mean, it's a really good line. That's the only thing, because I could totally see him being at like 3.35 and be completely satisfied with that. But I think just to kind of feed into my argument that it's a contract year and Sevy's really gonna shine under the lights, I think I'll hit under.
Yeah.
But not by much. I can't see him having a sub 3. It's possible, but I don't see that happening.
Yo, just looking at the 17 and 18 stats again. I mean, this dude was such a dog.
It's kind of crazy, like when you take into account like postseason, not taken into account here, but from that 3-year period of 2019 to 2021, he made 3 starts.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about. And granted, he pitched a few games out of the bullpen at the end of 2021, but 3 starts over 3 seasons,
Yeah, dude.
crazy. And he still might get paid.
And he's been around for so long too. And he talks about that. I feel like he gets annoyed a little bit when people forget, like, yo, I was here with A-Rod. I was here with Tex in 2015. I mean,
Yeah.
he was like the original OG baby bomber and still quite a successful one, really. I mean, we
Him and
always talk
Greg
about
Bird.
who worked out. Yeah, it was. They were the OG ones, and Sevy ended up, at least for the most part, being a success. It still kind of goes like, let's just real quick rank the baby bombers. Like, I think it's what, Judge?
Well, who do we consider? Like, do we consider like
Include
Rob
Glaber.
Refsnyder a baby bomber?
No. I'm just more so saying like Judge, Sevy, Glaber, Gary. I would say I think it's that order: Judge, Sevy, Glaber, Gary. With Glaber and Sevy, you could probably argue flip.
Bro, you know who I think like should have been included in like the baby bombers, but wasn't always mentioned?
Who?
Dylan Betances. I think sure he debuted maybe like a season before, but I still think he should have been included.
I think he was a little bit too old for that, but that's not to say like he didn't play a huge part. I mean,
because he debuted what, 2014?
Well, he came into his own at 2014. He actually made his MLB debut back in 2011, like a one little September call-up start. But yeah. He was. I want to give Dellin credit though, because he was all we had for a little bit. Like that was when our bullpen was what was marketable about the New York Yankees, when we had Dellin, Miller, Chapman, but more importantly, like Dellin, one of the best reliever primes of all time. So I'm glad you brought that up. Shout out Dellin Betances, who just retired last year, by the way. So I love Dellin, man. I love him. That would be a nice little old timers day pop up if he came through one time. He would get a hand. He would get a hand.
Bro, he's I mean,
Have
New York
native
a
fucking
too.
First pitch sometime. Honestly, have Dellin throw out a first pitch. I think that would be really cool. Like just a random game or whatever. I think that'd be awesome.
Bro, it's wild as hell.
I'm serious.
Gary's the catcher.
Yeah,
good Yankee, bad Yankee for Sevy.
Good Yankee. Good Yankee.
Sure. Good Yankee, not great Yankee. He's good. All right, Dan, before we call it an episode, let's get into some like news and notes from spring training, because like I'm not the biggest fan of spring, but this year's spring training has actually been pretty entertaining so far, because I think there's a lot of storylines that we've been following. First of all, this one's kind of a little throwaway, I know, but 2 guys that have been like struggling. Sevy through his first 2 starts, I think Rodon in his first start got completely shelled. Those 2 guys have been struggling on the mound. Like, are you concerned at all? Yes or no?
Me personally, no. Spring training means absolutely nothing. But if we get closer to opening day and that's still going on, then yeah, a little bit. But as of right now, I mean, we knew going into it, Rodon said he wasn't going to be like having max velo or anything like that. Same with Sevy. He made a funny joke too. It's like progressively getting better. 4 runs in my first start, 3 runs in my second spring training start. By opening day, we should be good to go. Maybe a 1-run outing. So I think it's whatever. But if they're still struggling later on in spring, then I'll be tweaking a little bit.
Yeah, see, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit disappointing to see Rodon get absolutely shelled in his first start, but I don't know, like, bro, as long as he pitches well in the regular season, that's all that matters. But
Yeah.
another one, Tommy Kahnle has a little injury that he's dealing with. He said that it's similar biceps tendonitis that he had in 2018, the one that he attempted to pitch through and then wound up getting sent to the minors. That's a little bit concerning just because Kahnle's like, we were excited to see him healthy on the Yankees, and now it seems like the injuries are creeping back up. So that's something to kind of take note of right now.
Annoying. Yeah. I mean, I'm not annoyed at Kahnle. Obviously, injuries happen and all. And I want to hear a little bit more about like what's good with it, like get an update or two. But yeah, that wouldn't be ideal if Kahnle's going to be out, like even just to start the season. I mean, we talk about it a lot, but like the Yankees pitching staff is really good. The depth, not so much, although the bullpen has plenty of options. So, I mean, like if it ends up just being like a little 2-week thing, say he misses, I don't know, even if he misses April, still not ideal. We can handle it. But long term, now we need Tommy Kahnle to be right. So hopefully it's not a long-term thing. We'll see what's good.
Yeah, and kind of on the flip side of Rodon and Sevy struggling, you have two young hitters who are absolutely raking, bro, making everybody question what the Yankees starting lineup should be on opening day. But Anthony Volpe, Jason Dominguez, bro, those two guys are raking. I'm more sold on Volpe being the opening day shortstop now because, bro, as time goes on, if he continues doing this, I mean, it's really hard to just say no. But Domingo's on the other side. Like, I definitely think that even though, bro, if he hits 10 more home runs the rest of spring training, I still think that he needs to start the season in the minors.
Yeah.
There's no world where Dominguez is your opening day left fielder.
Nah, definitely not. I think we're starting to see people like group in like the Volpe talk with Jason in a way.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Start all the kids. Like, nah, Jason, like this dog, he's got to probably finish up at AA or even at least start at AAA, right? So Jason, no, but he's looked great. Volpe, we all know how I feel about him, man. I mean, if it's clear that he makes the team better, he should be starting at shortstop on opening day. That is my take.
Yeah. And speaking of opening day, kind of my last note from spring training is the left field battle. Because, bro, all the players in the left field battle seem to all be contributing their own piece to the puzzle. Aaron Hicks, bro, I don't know if you saw his home run the other day.
Two-handed swing.
Beautiful, bro. I've never seen a two-handed swing from Aaron Hicks before. And, bro, it was very, like, Joey Gallo-esque. I don't know what about it, but it was, right?
Not the most, it doesn't give me too much confidence, Pat, but I see it. The swing is similar. He also, with the two-handed swing, I'm not sure if that's like a full-time adjustment or just so happened to be on that swing. He also is adjusting the leg kick ever so slightly. I'm rooting for Aaron Hicks. I really, really am. There's a quote that came out over the weekend about him just kind of talking about rock bottom and all, and how he was starting to find it a little bit last year. And then I guess, and for all players, hey, I got this with blitzball myself. Confidence is a big thing. And when that Tampa game happened, any momentum he felt like he had just totally went away. And I just think Yankee fans should accept that he's going to be on the team. And we should root for him. He's a Yankee. And so far, looking pretty good. 300 batting average and 10 at-bats this spring. Had that homer. Good shape, too, Pat. He's looking like he's in good shape. I'm legitimately aboard the Aaron Hicks train. It's not even just like me rooting for success.
Join the club, bro.
Shout out to you, Pat. You've been on it. I mean, I don't even say I'm half joking because I'm not, but it's like I'm not expecting like a crazy comeback player of the year type season, but I think he can hit league average. I do. And that's a serviceable player. So we'll see.
Yeah. Do you think he wins the left field battle? Because I think I do.
Definitely. And also shout out Oswaldo, because while I don't have him taking that job, and he's definitely going to be on the roster, he's looked phenomenal so far this spring. Also, he's just the most lovable dude. We already know this, but that, like mic'd up thing was dope. Rafael Ortega, did you mention him? I think he's looked good.
But Willie Calhoun's look good.
Yeah, and Ortega, I mean, I guess the story is he can't hit lefties all that well, but to have him off the bench as a potential pinch hitter against like righties or whatever, you need a big spot. I mean, he might be a potential option. So it's looked, and I think that's part of why spring training has been entertaining. I mean, like, what did we really look for going in? It was these position battles, shortstop, left field, and starting pitching between, Domingo and Clark. They've all been pretty damn interesting for the most part. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a good competition so far in all aspects.
Yeah, we got time to go, but yeah, I agree. It's been really entertaining.
Yeah, definitely. It's what, 3 weeks left now?
Yeah, about
spring.
That.
Yeah, cool. I mean, it's been fun so far. Opening day is closing in, Pat. You feel it, yo? Like, do you realize it's like right around the corner? Are you like getting the itch?
No, it'll hit me after the World Baseball Classic again.
Yo, we haven't even mentioned that, have we? That starts up
tonight.
Yeah.
Starts up tonight. 11 p.m. is the first game, which is so sick.
Let's get out of here, Pat. Shout out to Foco. 15% off with code Yankees Avenue. Pumped to have them here. And also, Pat, where can they find you on socials?
Find me on Twitter and TikTok at OnHingePatrick, and then Instagram at True Hennessy.
Yo, word. Dan O'Rourke on Twitter. Dan O'Rourke on Instagram. Yankees Avenue on Instagram. Here on YouTube as well. We'll see you guys next time. Let's go, Yankees.
Her body's gold like September. She burns through the night like an ember. And all those things we try forgetting, I remember. But we say we all fine, we all fine.